Welcome back here to the Mountain Morning Show. We're getting started with our first interview of this Business Wednesday, and I'm really excited to have Chris Cochella in. He's the founder of Sequoia Group. They are a business consulting firm based out of the Salt Lake Valley. Chris, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing really well, Diego. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you so much for having me. I'm enjoying this kind of nice early morning sunshine, so a nice start to the day. But tell us all about the Sequoia Group.
Yeah, we're a business coaching and consulting company. We work with businesses to help them identify and validate new growth opportunities, which could be a new product or service for a startup, or trying to move the needle on an existing business.
On an existing business. So really just figuring out the ways that a business can scale. And a lot of the time, some of these small businesses don't even realize that there's huge opportunities for them to grow their business right in front of their eyes, really.
That's right. And sometimes it takes a little bit of perspective. And then when we come up with a plan or an idea, what's really important to us is that we work with that business to validate the idea before resources, time, and money are spent going down that path.
So what do you see, or what problems do you encounter the most with small business owners as they're trying to maybe develop a new product or launch some other side of their business?
Yeah, really, it's about whether or not it's going to work, right? We all have ideas about new products or in our business, and how do we validate those? How do we prove that they're going to work, or how do we reduce the uncertainty so that when we commit resources, we're not committing as much, we're not risking as much? And then how do we evaluate that as we go so that we steer toward the right solution that makes the customer happy?
And what are some tips that you have for small business owners when they are looking to maybe launch a new product or something like that? What do you look for in the customer that you're really trying to hone in on?
Yeah, we've developed a 7-step process that goes into that. And what you're really looking for is to work with the customer in a discovery process before you bring that product to life. So sit down one-on-one, get out of the building, talk human to each other, right, like we're doing now, and work with them to understand what their big problems are, what solutions they're using now, what's working, what's not working, get them to tell their story, and through doing that, a picture begins to emerge.
So really, from that process, they get to really refine the idea, hone it down, and figure out what's going to work best for the market that they're serving.
Absolutely. The customer knows this information in various ways, and you can send them a survey, but it doesn't give you that directional, emotional connection that you have talking one-on-one.
Absolutely, absolutely. And consumer knows best, right? I mean, that's exactly what businesses are in the market for, is to serve the consumer. So if you're not hitting all of the key points that consumer is really concerned about, you're going to be really lacking and losing probably a lot of revenue when it comes to the market share.
Absolutely. Or you commit resources to a new product, you're very passionate about it, you think you got the great solution, and you get out there and you're a few degrees off. Mm-hmm. And that costs a lot of, mostly time. That's probably the most precious resource here.
Precious resource, but time is money,
right?
Money
time too, that's right.
Time is money. And so I think you hit a really good point, but you could be just a few degrees off, right? And that could make a substantial difference in the amount of the success of your product.
Absolutely. When we do the customer interviews, we go in with a lot of assumptions. Some of those are quite right. Others are not right, and then we discover new things that the customer tells us. It could be about how they receive information in the marketplace, or it could be how they use the potential solution. And that opens up new ideas or new features that if we did not see those, then the product would not either be successful or not as successful as it could be.
Working with small businesses, that's got to be kind of a pretty cool experience, watching a product get honed down from really a conceptual idea to something that's really going to go into the marketplace and serve its purpose for the consumer.
Oh, it's an incredible experience. I'm very privileged and honored, to work with the businesses that I do. And through this process, everyone gains a high level of confidence about what we're doing because that evidence and that connectedness to the customer is there. And that translates to not only delivering the product, but going out and committing resources or getting investment dollars. The investors see a lower risk situation because you've done the hard work up front.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. What are some of the businesses that you are already working with here in the Summit County community?
Well, I'm working with one in Salt Lake. It's a media group.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and I'm working with one in St. George. They have a consumer product that works in the athletic arena,
Excellent.
awards and Spartan races and things like that.
Cool. And you also do some work with PC Caps and stuff like that up here at the high school as well. Doing some entrepreneurship training for young students.
Yeah, I have an idea of my own that I'm incubating and building a team around, and I met some folks at PC Caps a while ago, and I'm using a team of students there and doing exactly what we're talking about.
Excellent.
They're headed out into the community to talk to the people that would be using the product and collecting that that frontline information.
That's great. So really doing a lot of the important work and getting it taken care of. Where can people go to find out more about the Sequoia Group or get involved and maybe contact you?
Yeah, two great places to connect with me. One is on LinkedIn, Chris Cochella on LinkedIn. The other is the sequoiagroup.co web address.
Okay. Perfect. If you need to get maybe a consultation about your business, Chris is the man to contact. Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you, Diego.
Much appreciated. Be sure and check out the Sequoia Group, especially if you are trying to maybe scale your business, if you're trying to introduce a new product to the market, or if you just have a conceptual idea and you really just want to get to the very next step. The Sequoia Group will help you hone down that process. So we're going to continue here on the Mountain Morning Show, but be sure and check out the Sequoia Group at sequoiagroup.co. We'll be right back.